Story 1: The Curse of Moonlit Meadows Camp. In a quiet corner of the countryside, surrounded by rolling hills and a serene river, lay the fabled Moonlit Meadows Camp. This campground had been a source of chilling tales for generations, and its history was intertwined with a curse that had yet to be broken. A group of friends, Sarah, Mark, Emily, and Chris, decided to spend a summer weekend camping at Moonlit Meadows. They were eager to prove that the stories were mere superstitions. The campground was a postcard-perfect place during the day, with lush meadows and a river that sparkled like diamonds in the sun. As the day turned into night, the friends gathered around their campfire and shared stories, trying to ignore the unsettling silence that seemed to envelop them. But as the moon rose, an otherworldly glow bathed the meadows, and the atmosphere grew eerie. The once tranquil river now whispered secrets, and the trees cast eerie shadows that danced in the moonlight. Strange symbols carved into the rocks near their campsite seemed to pulse with an unholy energy. Sarah and Emily began to feel a sense of dread, but Mark and Chris reassured them, believing it was all in their imagination. But their imaginations couldn't explain what happened next. Soft, ghostly figures started to emerge from the river. The friends watched in awe and terror as the figures, cloaked in mist, beckoned them to follow. Unseen forces seemed to draw them in, and they found themselves stepping into the river, drawn to the haunting figures. Hours passed, but the friends were unable to resist the pull of the spectral figures. They became disconnected from reality, wandering in a trance-like state, their memories fading away. The moonlit meadows swallowed them whole. Days turned into weeks, and their families reported them missing. Search parties combed the area, but there was no sign of Sarah, Mark, Emily, or Chris. Moonlit Meadows Camp had claimed them, and the curse had once again taken hold. Years later, a new group of friends ventured into Moonlit Meadows, unaware of the history that plagued the camp. As they set up their campfire in the meadow, they noticed faint whispers and the soft glow of the moon. But they couldn't know the truth, that the spirits of Sarah, Mark, Emily, and Chris now walked alongside them, warning them of the curse. The curse of Moonlit Meadows Camp was a reminder that sometimes the most beautiful places held the darkest secrets, and breaking free from the grasp of the supernatural required more than courage. It demanded a profound understanding of the past and a willingness to listen to the voices of those who had been lost to the curse. Story 2: The Haunting of Camp Pinhaven. In a picturesque valley surrounded by dense woods, nestled next to a tranquil lake, lay inviting Camp Pinhaven. Families from far and wide would come to this camp to enjoy the beauty of nature, unaware of the dark history that clung to its very soil. One summer, the Thompson family decided to embark on an adventure. Jim and Sarah, along with their children, Alex and Emma, arrived at Camp Pinhaven with high spirits. The camp was famous for its beautiful hiking trails, crystal-clear lake, and charming cabins. The family settled into their cabin, excited to spend quality time together. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, strange things began to happen. The once inviting woods turned foreboding, and a ghostly mist crept through the trees. Late at night, the family heard soft whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls of their cabin. A chilling breeze swept through the room, even though all the windows were tightly closed. The children huddled together, clutching their teddy bears for comfort. The next day, while hiking one of the trails, they discovered an abandoned, overgrown cemetery deep in the woods. Weathered tombstones told tales of people who had lived and died here long ago. Emma couldn't help but read the inscriptions, and the more she read, the more uneasy she felt. As they returned to their cabin, strange occurrences intensified. Shadows moved on their own, and objects seemed to shift when no one was looking. Their attempts to contact the camp staff for help were met with silence. The family decided to leave the camp, but when they reached the entrance, they found themselves unable to cross the threshold. The world beyond had faded into an eerie mist, and there was no escape. Panic set in, and they realized they were trapped within the confines of Camp Pinhaven. That night, they gathered in the cabin's living room, where a mysterious force seemed to communicate with them. The room was filled with whispers from beyond, and faint apparitions of long-deceased campers appeared. The spirits seemed restless and tormented. As the hours passed, the spirits' message became clear. They were trapped, and they needed the Thompson family's help to find peace. The family, driven by empathy, agreed to assist. Through a series of cryptic clues and encounters, they uncovered the long-buried secrets of the camp and helped the restless spirits find closure. With the spirits at peace, the world beyond the camp's entrance was no longer shrouded in mist. The Thompsons were finally free to leave Camp Pinhaven. They left behind a place forever changed, now with a history of both darkness and redemption. The haunting of Camp Pinhaven served as a reminder that sometimes, even in the most idyllic places, stories of the past can become intertwined with the present, and it takes courage, empathy, and understanding to break the cycle of the supernatural. Story 3: The Enchanted Woods of Gloomhaven. Once upon a time, in a quaint little town, there was a tale passed down through generations about a magical forest called Gloomhaven. This forest was known for its beauty during the day, with sparkling streams and vibrant flowers, but it harbored a dark secret that revealed itself only when the sun went down. A family, the Johnsons, consisting of parents, Emma and Michael, and their two children, Lily and Ethan, decided to go camping in the enchanting Gloomhaven forest. They had heard the stories but believed the tales to be fairy tales spun by imaginative villagers. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the family set up camp, gathered around their campfire, and roasted marshmallows. It was a picturesque evening, but as the moon rose high in the sky, the once friendly forest began to transform. Strange sounds echoed through the woods, and the trees started to twist and contort, casting eerie shadows. Lily and Ethan became uneasy, clutching their flashlights tightly. Their parents, trying to ease their fears, told them to ignore the strange occurrences and that it was all part of the enchantment. But the enchantment soon turned into something sinister. Figures of glowing eyes appeared in the darkness, and soft whispers carried through the wind, calling the family's names. The family huddled together, fear gnawing at their hearts. As they tried to retreat to their tent, they realized it had vanished. Panic set in. They wandered through the ever-changing woods, desperately trying to find their way back to safety. The forest seemed to play tricks on them, leading them in circles. Hours passed, and they stumbled upon an ancient, gnarled tree with a hollow trunk. It was their only option for shelter. Inside, they found old carvings and etchings from those who had been lost before them. It was clear they were not the first to experience this nightmare. The night was long, filled with unsettling sounds and eerie visions, but as dawn approached, the forest returned to its tranquil daytime state. The Johnsons finally found their way back to their campsite, shaken but alive. They left Glamavon behind, never to return. The stories they had once dismissed as fairy tales had become their own chilling reality. The Johnsons learned that even in the most beautiful places, darkness can lurk, and some enchantments are best left unexplored. For Glamavon was not a place for innocent campers, but a place where nightmares came to life. Thanks for diving into the world of horror with us. If you're a fellow horror enthusiast, make sure to subscribe, like, and share your own terrifying tales in the comments below. More spine-tingling content awaits you. And don't forget to watch this next video.